Today, we're looking at Windows 11 features that are so bad, they're practically indistinguishable from bugs. Then, I'm going to show you how to fix them. Stay tuned. So Windows 11 has come a long way since 2021, but it seems like Microsoft keeps adding features that no one asked for. Now, I spend a lot of time complaining about Windows 11, and it might be a combination of the fact that rage bait sells and the fact that there are some truly awful things to say about Windows 11. But I don't want you to think that just because I spend a lot of time complaining about Windows 11 that there's nothing good about it. Because Windows 11 has gotten a lot better today than it was when it was first released. But there are still some boneheaded features that I don't know how they got out of QC in the first place. So that's what we're going to look at today. But first, I got to pay some bills. So check out today's sponsor. Are you still running Windows 11 unactivated because the license just costs too much? Then you should check out today's sponsor, VIP SCD Key, where you can get a valid Windows 11 license for around $20. Stop dealing with that stupid watermark and actually be able to change your desktop background with a valid license for Windows 11. Just go to the link in the description below and pick up a valid Windows 11 license key. During checkout, use the code CYBERCPU for a 25% discount. Once you have your key, go to your activation settings in Windows 11 and click the link that says Change Product Key. Enter the product key you just purchased and hit Activate. Now you don't have to deal with that stupid watermark. And check out the description for deals on not just Windows, but Office too. Now, on with the video. So today we're going to be looking at Windows 11 25H2 because it's the latest release of Windows 11, and a few of the features that I think are awful come in 25H2. So the settings that I'm going to show you today will mostly work on all versions of Windows, but some of them just aren't relevant to all versions of Windows and only work on 25H2. Let's jump on the system and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are in Windows 11. As you can see, this is 25H2 based on the new start menu. Now, some of you guys aren't gonna have the new start menu yet. Hopefully by the time this video is released, you will. But with that said, you may not want it anyway after you hear what I have to say about it. So this is what we're gonna be talking about to start out with, is this start menu, because it does look fairly good. I actually like the look of it, but the more and more I use it, the more and more I wish I had the old Windows 11 start menu back. Because here's the thing, if you look at the category view on this thing, the categories themselves are not customizable in any way whatsoever. You can't even move the applications from one category to another. They're essentially stuck where they're at. This is how Microsoft has you use it. I remember when this was in beta, and when it was in beta, I said that I was going to give it a little bit of grace and I wasn't going to really complain that much about it. But now that it's released, I'm going to complain about it because this is just awful. The only real fix for this while using the same start menu is to change the view from view to list view. And this will give you all your applications. They're easy to find, but at the same time, they also make your start menu huge. And honestly, I think that there could be a better solution to this. So here's the thing. I like the new start menu in 25H2. It looks great. It's definitely an improvement on the old Windows 11 start menu, but the categories view is just awful. Like I said, you have absolutely no ability to customize the categories. You can't rename the categories or add new ones. You can't even move apps between categories. When you want to find an app, you don't know which category it happens to be in. You have to click through all the categories until you find it. It's a colossal waste of time. I mean, here's the thing. It's like Microsoft looked at the macOS Launchpad, folders, and the Android app drawer categories, copied the visual style of both, and then deliberately shipped the absolute worst possible implementation of both of them. Now, like I said, this is the same complaint I had when I covered the same start menu when 25H2 was still in beta. I said back then that I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt because it was still in beta. But now that they've shipped this garbage, I'm going to complain about it because honestly, it just downright sucks. Now, like I showed you, you can switch the categories view to just the list view like it was before. But even that isn't as good as the old start menu that kind of separated the list view into its own separate menu. So the fix for this issue that I'm going to show you is how to restore the old start menu in 25H2. So let's jump back on the system and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so the downside to this is gonna be that this fix isn't gonna last forever. But because this start menu is rolling out in 25H2, Microsoft has left the code for the original start menu in 25H2. And as some people know, they haven't even been upgraded to the new start menu yet. So to get this back, what you're gonna need to do is first, you're gonna need to go and download the program Vive Tool. You can pick this up on GitHub. This is a neat little tool that allows you to enable and disable features from within Windows. So we're gonna go ahead and click on latest right here. I'll leave a link for this down in the description too, by the way. And we're gonna download right here the Intel AMD. We don't want the Snapdragon version. We want the x86 one. So we're gonna click on this right here and go ahead and download it. And then from there, we're gonna open this up. We're going to extract it into its own folder right here. And there we go. Now we have the Vive tool. Now at this point, we can go ahead and close all of these windows because now we need to go to the command prompt. And for that, I'm just going to go ahead and open up terminal right here. And from terminal, I'm going to go ahead CD, downloads. And then from here, I'm going to go into Vive tool. And then there is the executable right there. Now the command that we need to run is going to be Vive tool exe / disable space / and then we want to do ID : and this is going to be the specific ID for the new start menu, and it is 472052110. And then once you do that, you go ahead and hit enter, and of course, access is denied because I wasn't running this as administrator. Now you got to run your command prompt as administrator. I screwed up and didn't. However, this gives me a chance to show off a feature we enabled in our last video, and that is sudo. Essentially, we're going to run the same command. I'm just going to go to the back right here, type sudo, enter. It's going to give me user account control, hit yes, and it says successfully set the feature configurations. This right here is one of the reasons why I really like the sudo command in Windows 11. Even though a lot of people complained about it in the last video and said it was insecure. Well, if it's secure for Linux, it's just as secure for Windows. But either way, now that you've done that, all you have to do now is reboot your computer and you should have the old start menu back. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this, and then we're gonna reboot Windows just like this, hit restart, and we'll be back here in 1 second. Okay, so here we are back in Windows 11, and if I click the start button, as you can see, here's the old start button. So on this one, unfortunately, I don't have any recommendations because I just reset back to the original. It'll take some time for the recommendations to rebuild themselves. In fact, actually, I think I may have these turned off. So if we click here and go to the start menu, and as you can see, because we've gone back to the old start menu, we have the old start menu settings back too, and we can enable the recommendations here if we want, or we can just go to more pins just like that, which a lot of people like, which throws the recommendations down a little bit further. One of the benefits though to the new start menu was the fact that you could eliminate the recommendations completely. And unfortunately, you can't do that with the old start menu. I wish they had like maybe a combination, like just change the things people don't like about the new start menu and leave the stuff people do. It would be nice if we still had the all button in the new start menu to kind of segregate the all applications from the pins themselves and not have them in the same menu. You know, the implementation of that in Windows 10 was great to have all applications on the left and all your pins on the right. But if they want to get rid of that implementation, then if you're going to stick with Windows 11, then do it with the way that you do it and don't change it so dramatically in one update session. You know, that's the biggest complaint I hear a lot of people making, is not that the new things within Windows 11 are necessarily bad, but it's that they change them so dramatically on just a drop of a hat. And a lot of people have a hard time learning how to use their system every time Windows Update runs. But either way, now that we've done this, there's another really, really hated part of Windows 11, and that's going to be the Windows 11 context menu. Now this one right here, it's absolutely a disaster. In fact, it's gotten to the point now to where if we go ahead, I'm just going to open up my pictures folder, and we're going to right click here, and we've got so many settings now within the right click menu that why don't we just go back to the old one? It's about the same thing. I mean, why have they gone to this new one? The whole point of the new context menu was to kind of simplify things and make things not as complicated. But are you looking at the same menu as me? Because this is not simple. Even though Microsoft has said that in a later update, they're going to simplify this again, which is probably going to make it even worse again. So Either way, with that said, I'm going to show you how to completely disable this and go back to the old context menu without having to click more properties every time. So to do that, we're going to close this window and we're going to type regedit. We're going to launch our registry editor here, and we're going to go to current user. This is a setting that you have to do for each user on the machine, unfortunately. So from there, we're going to go into software, then we're going to go into classes, which is right here, and then we got to scroll down to CLSID, and it's all going to be alphabetical order. So in fact, we could probably just write CL. Yep, we can. There we go. CLSID, and you have all of these really long, complicated keys right here. And we're gonna add another one, unfortunately. And through the power of video editing, I went ahead and did mine in my clipboard, so I can just paste it. However, I will go ahead and put this key. This key should be displayed on the screen right now, and I will also put it down in the description below so you can copy and paste it on yours too. So what you can do is once you create that key, inside of this key right here, you want to go ahead and add another key, and this key is going to be INPROC server 32. And then go ahead and hit enter. And then from this point, what we want is we want to go to the default entry here. Now this is really important. Even though it says value not set, we still have to do this. Go ahead and open it, make sure it's 0, and hit OK again. You want to make sure that the value not set disappears. That's really, really important. And then once you do that, we can go ahead and close this. And sometimes you'll already have it, sometimes you won't. But most of the time, if you go down to Task Manager, and then from Task Manager, we want to scroll all the way down until we find Windows Explorer, and just go ahead and hit Restart right here. Just like that, just to restart Windows Explorer. And then once you do that, you can right-click, and you have the old classic context menu back. And if we go into our documents, let's go back to the pictures where we were before, right-click on the same picture, and as you can see, we have the old context menu back, just like that. And honestly, I think that's an improvement to the new one. You know, sometimes the classics are the best. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not the only one that hates the Windows 11 context menu. In fact, recently Microsoft admitted that the new context menu is just as cluttered as the old one was, and they've decided they're going to update it to have more subcategories. Ultimately, they're turning the new context menu into the old one right in front of our eyes. So why don't they just give us a native option in settings to disable the new one, since so many people hate it? I mean, here's the thing. This feature right here is the poster child for features that might as well be bugs. I could literally end this video right here and everyone would be happy. But luckily, I have more. So let's jump back on the system and I'll show you. Okay, so the next one we're going to be looking at is another feature that honestly might as well be a bug, being that's the title of the video. So if you click on Start, normally people, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I almost always disable Windows Search so it doesn't show up on my desktop. Because honestly, you can click the Start button and just search for stuff just like that. However, the problem with this is you get the web search or the Bing search in your Start menu. And honestly, I just don't like it. I want to just search for stuff on my computer. If I want to search for something on the internet, I'll search for stuff on the internet. So let me show you how to turn that off. So if you click on your Start menu and search for regedit, go ahead and hit enter, hit yes. And then from here, we have to go back up here and we're going to go into current user, software. From software, we're going to go into Microsoft this time, and then into Windows. And this is all alphabetical, so just go down to W. Then we're going to go to current version. Then we're going to go into search. That's going to be all the way down here, and there's search. Okay, now we want to right-click and hit new DWORD 32-bit value. And we're going to type in Bing search enabled. And then hit enter. And then from there, we're going to double click on it and we're going to make sure that the value is 0, hit OK. And then at this point, we shouldn't even have to restart the computer. If we go ahead and close regedit, click on the Start button and search, now you have the old Windows search. And of course, there's no results for Cyber CPU. There should be results for Cyber CPU, but there's not because it's not using the internet. Now, this feature annoys me for different reasons than the others, because having the ability to conduct web searches from your Start menu isn't inherently bad. I mean, it's a decent feature if you think about it. What makes it bad is that you can only use Bing. Now, if you use Bing as a search engine, then that's great. But if you don't, then you're forced to whether you like it or not. But it doesn't even stop there, because if that was the only issue with this feature, then it would be kind of scummy of Microsoft. But what makes it even worse is that when you click on one of those search results, it doesn't open in your default browser. It opens in Microsoft Edge. I mean, wasn't Microsoft in an antitrust case that dealt with using these same tactics? But moving on, the next feature that I think is indistinguishable from a bug, literally by design, actually contains two issues that people have been complaining about for years. And that feature is the Windows taskbar itself. And the issues are the setting to never combine taskbar icons and the ability to move your taskbar to a different location, like to the left, right, or top of the screen. And both of these issues can be solved in the same way. But unfortunately, this is the first one that's going to require us to use a third-party app. So let's jump back on the system and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, as you can see right here, the start menu is essentially solid. You can't do anything with it. It's on the bottom of the screen and that's it. And a lot of people like to move it around. They like to put it on the side or the top of the screen. Personally, I don't get it. I've never liked the taskbar anywhere but the bottom, but you know, some people like it. And you should at least have the option to do it if that's what you want to do. And the other one is combining the taskbar icons. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a couple programs here. And as you can see, I've got 3 file windows open right now, but as you can see on the bottom, there is only one icon for File Explorer. Some people like to break that up so you have all the icons across the bottom of the taskbar. Personally, I'm kind of in the same boat. I like them combined because I think it's a lot cleaner, but you should at least have the option to break them apart if you want to. And the way we're going to fix this is the same way I've shown you how to fix this a few other times. And that's using a program called Explorer Patcher. Of course, this is a free program that allows you to do tons of different customizations on Windows. And I'm sure you're aware of it if you've watched any of my videos before. But we're going to go ahead and download it here. And all we're really going to be dealing with today is going to be just those 2 modifications, being able to move your taskbar around and being able to break your icons apart. So once you get it downloaded, we're going to open it up in Downloads and we're going to double click on it to install it. And as you can see, once it installs, and it should look exactly the same as it did before it was installed. And as you can see, there you go, we're back to Windows 11 now. And you can see that nothing really has changed. At least nothing visually has changed. Because what you're going to have to do next is go ahead and right click on the taskbar, and as you can see, there's a lot more choices now. But we're going to go ahead and click on Properties right here, and Properties will open up the Explorer Patcher settings. Now, I'm not going to go through all the settings. All we're going to be dealing with today is the taskbar itself. And unfortunately, to fix both of these problems, we got to use the Windows 10 taskbar. And to do that, you go to the taskbar right here in the top, change it from Windows 11 to Windows 10, and then go ahead and hit Restart File Explorer. And that'll swap the Windows 11 taskbar for the Windows 10 one, as you can see right here. And unfortunately, it also moves your start button all the way to the left-hand side. And there's really nothing you can do about it at that point. So what I would recommend doing is go ahead and right-click, go into taskbar settings, and then from here, you're going to have to go into taskbar behaviors, alignment, and then go to the left. It's pretty much the only way you're going to be able to fix this specific issue, and it'll open your taskbar in the traditional way. However, now that you've done that, the next thing that you do is go down in the same section where it says combine taskbar icons on the primary taskbar. Now you can also do this on a secondary taskbar if you're using dual monitors, but right here it's by default set to always combine. If we go to never combine, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the same thing as before, open a couple file explorers, and as you can see, now it has one for each running version of File Explorer. And if you want to change it back, it's the same thing. You go to never combine to always combine, and it will combine it in the same way that it did before. But for us, we're going to leave it at never combine for right now. And then for the other issue, for the primary taskbar location, we're going to go all the way up to the top right here. And as you can see, by default, it's at the bottom of the screen. But I'm going to go ahead and click here, and I'm going to put this one on the left-hand side of the screen. And then once you move it over to there, you got to click Restart File Explorer to restart it. And then once File Explorer restarts, as you can see, you now have the taskbar on the left-hand side of the screen. But there is a bug here, and this is an unfortunate bug that I just don't have a way to fix. If you click the Start button, it still opens it in exactly the way it's supposed to. You know what? This is new. And I'm actually surprised at this point because I was expecting it to open at the bottom of the screen, and it doesn't. I guess an update must have fixed this from when I wrote this video to now. And you know what? In that case, the rest of this isn't really necessary because there you go. Now you can open it. However, it does animate from the bottom, which might be a little bit annoying. If it does annoy you, what you can do is you can go into Start Menu here and you can change the Start Menu itself to Windows 10 as well. And then all you got to do is restart File Explorer and you should start off with the Windows 10 Start button. Just like that. And it'll act just like Windows 10 did before. And honestly, arguably, probably one of the better implementations of a Start Menu. I like the Windows 10 Start Menu all around better than the Windows 11. So from that standpoint, there you go. I think this is fixed. Now, the nice thing about Explorer Patcher, on top of what I just showed you, is that you can do several of these other features that we talked about today in Explorer Patcher too. I just wanted to show you how to do it natively within Windows without third-party apps. In fact, I wanted to show you how to do the never combine taskbar icons as well as moving the taskbar without third-party apps too. But unfortunately, that's just not possible in Windows anymore. It was back originally, but it's been removed at some point. But with that said, these are the features that I think stand out as the biggest features in Windows 11 that are almost indistinguishable as bugs. But if I missed anything, go ahead and write it down in the comments below. But if you agree and you want to be able to change these settings a lot quicker than I showed you how to do here, then check out this video where I show you how to use an AI chatbot to create Windows scripts that will essentially do a lot of this for you. I know I'm going to be doing that. But as always, you guys have a great day.